Welcome to part 6 of the YouTube Annihilator series. In this video, we're going to talk about building your target audience. A target audience is exactly what it sounds like. It's a breakdown of the type of people you want to target with your advertisement. The first thing we're going to do is give our ad a name. Choosing a name like everyone would be a bad idea. We don't want to target everyone. You want to try to name the ad something that you will recognize as you're going through the rest of your targets, because you may end up having and should end up having multiple targets for a single campaign. So something like an interest target would be great, but adding a specific type of interest targeting would be even better in case you go on to target multiple interests. The next thing we're going to do is set up the bidding. The max cost per view is exactly what it sounds like. It's the maximum amount of money you're willing to spend for each view your ad receives from a member of your target audience. A good place to start is around 10 cents. If you're not getting enough views or not getting any views, simply raise it up by a little bit and see how that changes your results. Next, we're going to start setting up the actual target. When you begin creating your target audience, it's important to remember that you don't want to restrict it too far, otherwise you'll get no results. It's better to be semi-generic and a little more broad stroke, and then refine it from there as the results start coming in of how the target is reacting to the ad. Maybe it resonates with one portion but not another, so that's why you'll want to be a little more generic. If you're too refined from the start, you won't really know how you're failing if you start getting poor results. By starting out a little more generic, it gives you room to adjust and adapt. The first thing we're going to do is turn off the demographic targeting. For this example, we're not going to need to know people's age or their gender. It's just not going to matter. Our product can be used by, let's just say, anyone. So now we're going to move down to where it says user interested in. This is where you're going to choose the different types of interests. They're broken down into many different categories like hobbies and leisure. And let's say this particular product is a sports product. So we're going to click sports and we're going to go down to what specific type of sport. We're going to say golf. So our product, we want to target anybody who has golf as an interest. Now under the advanced options, you see some more choices. You'll find ad placements, remarketing lists, and content keywords. Remarketing lists are a great tool that we actually go over in another video, so we'll save that for a later time. Specific placements would be if you know of a particular, let's say, golf channel that gets a lot of viewers that you would love to pitch your product to. If the channel is a monetized channel, meaning that they actually do allow ads on their content, then you could choose them as a placement and you would have the opportunity for your ad to show up on that particular website or that particular YouTube channel. But for this overview, we're going to skip all of those because we will go over most of them in later segments that go more detailed into what they actually do, how they're used, and why they're used. So now let's say we decide, you know what, I did a little more research, and instead of doing it to everybody, let's just go to people who are between the ages of 18 and 34. On the right hand side, you're going to see a prediction of how many views you might get per day and what you can expect to spend as your actual cost per view. For this scenario, it says 500 to 2,000 views at approximately 3 cents. That's pretty respectable. And for this particular audience, we're not going to be targeting any search terms, so we're going to go ahead and just turn that off. And now that we have all of our options set, we're going to hit Save Target Group and be completed. And just that easy, we created our first audience that should get 500 to 2,000 views a day at approximately 3 cents per view. And if you were to cap that on the low end, you'd be looking about $300 a month for about 10,000 views. Not a bad way to spend your marketing dollars. This type of advertising everybody thinks is expensive, but in reality, when it's done correctly, you can spend very little money and get very big returns.